The city with no name. A very long time ago, in a beautiful land called Greece, there was a king. His name was Cecrops. He was the first king of a region called Attica. King Cecrops was a good king, and he built a wonderful new city. The city was on a hill close to the blue sea. The houses were strong and the streets were clean. King Cecrops was proud of his city, decided to give it his own name, called it Cecropia. The city of Cecropia was very beautiful. The sun shone almost every day. From the top of the hill, the people could see the sparkling water of the sea. They could see green fields and tall mountains far away. The news of this beautiful city traveled far. It even traveled to the home of the gods, Mount Olympus. The gods and goddesses looked down from their mountain home and saw Cecropia. They all thought it was the most beautiful city they had ever seen. Many of the gods wanted to be the special god of this city. A special god or a patron was very important. A patron protected the city from its enemies and helped its people. In return, the people of the city would build temples for the god and pray to them. The gods wanted to be the patron of Cecropia more than anyone else. The first was Poseidon. Poseidon was the great god of the sea. He was very powerful and strong. He had a long, dark beard and wild hair, like the waves of the ocean in a storm. He carried a big, three-pointed spear called a trident. With his trident, he could start earthquakes and create giant waves. He was a very important god, and he was used to getting what he wanted. The second was Athena. Athena was the goddess of wisdom, art, and war. She was not loud and angry like Poseidon. She was calm, intelligent, and a great thinker. She was also a brave fighter, but she preferred to solve problems with smart plans, not with fighting. She was the favorite daughter of Zeus, the king of all the gods. A big argument. Poseidon and Athena started to argue. "This city should be mine," shouted Poseidon. His voice was like a loud wave crashing on the rocks. "I am the god of the sea. The city is near the sea. The people need a strong protector. I am strong. I will be their patron," Athena answered calmly. "Strength is not everything, Uncle Poseidon. The people of this city need wisdom to build. A great culture, they need skills to make beautiful things. I can teach them these things. I will be their patron." Their argument went on for days and weeks. On Mount Olympus, the other gods became tired of the noise. Poseidon and Athena argued at breakfast. They argued at lunch. They argued at dinner. Finally, Zeus, the king of the gods, had enough. His voice was like thunder. "Stop this now," he boomed. Everyone on Mount Olympus became quiet. "You both want to be the patron of this city," Zeus said. "You cannot both have it. We must be fair. We will have a competition." Poseidon and Athena looked at Zeus. "A competition? What kind of competition?" Zeus explained his idea. "You will each give one gift to the city of Cecropia. The people of the city and their king, Cecrops, will decide. They will choose the gift that is best. The god who gives the best gift will become the patron of the city, and the city will take the name of that god." Poseidon smiled. He was very confident. He thought he knew the perfect gift. Athena also smiled, but it was a quiet, secret smile. She also had an idea. The day of the gifts. The next day was the competition. The sun was bright in a clear blue sky. King Cecrops told all his people to come. Everyone in the city, men, women, and children, walked together. They climbed up the highest hill in the city. Its tall flat rock was the most important place in Cecropia. From there, they could see everything. This hill was called the Acropolis. The people gathered and waited. They were excited and a little nervous. Who would be their patron? What gifts would the great gods bring? Soon 2 bright lights appeared in the sky. The lights came down and landed on top of the Acropolis. It was Poseidon and Athena. Poseidon stood tall and proud. He held his shiny trident. He looked at the crowd of people. "People of Cecropia," he shouted. "You are lucky, my Poseidon. The great ruler of the sea will give you my gift first." He walked to a large flat rock. He lifted his trident high above his head. The 3 sharp points looked like silver in the sunlight. With a great cry, he smashed the trident down onto the rock. Crack! The rock split open. And from the ground, water started to shoot up into the air. It was a spring of water. Oh, the water made a little pool on the dry rock. The people gasped. Water was a wonderful gift. Attica was a dry land. Sometimes there was no rain for a long time. This was called a drought. The drought was very dangerous. Without water, the plants died, the animals died, and people died. I give you the gift of water. Poseidon announced proudly, with this spring, your city will never be thirsty. You will never have a drought. I am a great god, and this is a great gift. The people started to cheer. A spring of water. It was amazing. The young boy was very thirsty from the walk up the hill, ran to the new spring and put his hands in the water to take a drink. He took a big sip of the water. Then he made a strange face. Yuck, he said, and he spat the water out of his mouth. His mother ran to him. What is it? What is wrong? She asked. The water. Salty, the boy said. King Cecrops walked to the spring. He put his finger in the water and tasted it. He also made a face. The boy was right. The water was salty. It tasted exactly like the water from the sea. Poseidon was the god of the sea, so his spring gave seawater. The people stopped cheering. They started to whisper to each other. It's salt water, one person said. You cannot drink salt water. You cannot use it to water the plants in the fields, said a farmer. Salt will kill them. Poseidon's gift looked wonderful, but it was not very useful. The people were very disappointed. Poseidon looked angry, but he said nothing. His gift was not as good as he thought. The gift of a tree. Now it was Athena's turn. She did not shout. She walked calmly to a piece of empty ground. She held her simple spear. She looked at the people with her kind, intelligent eyes. Then she gently pushed the point of her spear into the earth. She pulled her spear out. For a moment, nothing happened. The people watched. Poseidon laughed. Is that it? A hole in the ground? But then something amazing happened. From the small hole where her spear had touched the ground, a tiny green plant began to grow. Grew very fast. In just a few seconds, it became taller and taller. Branches grew from its sides, and they were covered in small, gray-green leaves. Little white flowers appeared on the branches. Soon, it was a beautiful, strong tree. On its branches were small green and black fruits. It was an olive tree. The people looked at the tree. It was beautiful, but was it a good gift? Athena began to speak. Her voice was not loud, but it was clear, and everyone listened. I give you the olive tree, she said. This gift will give you many things. She pointed to the fruit. It gives you food. You can eat these olives. They will keep you from hunger. Then she took some of the olives and squeezed them in her hand. A golden liquid came out. This is olive oil, she said. You can use this oil to cook your food, and it will taste delicious. You can also put it in your lamps, and it will give you light in the dark. Finally, she touched the strong wood of the tree. When the tree is old, its wood will give you fuel for your fires to keep you warm in the winter. Can also use the wood to build your houses and your boats. Athena looked at the people. My gift does not appear with a loud noise, but it will help you for many, many years. It will give you food, light, and warmth. It is a gift of peace and prosperity. The city of Athena, the people were quiet. They thought about the two gifts. Poseidon's gift was big and fast, a spring of water, but it was salty water. It was not useful. Athena's gift was quiet and slow, a single tree. But this tree was a gift that kept giving. It gave food to eat. It gave oil for cooking and light. It gave wood for fire and building. It was a very useful gift. It was a very wise gift. King Cecrops looked at his people. They were all smiling and nodding. He knew which gift was better. The king turned to the gods. Poseidon, he said, with respect, your gift was powerful. But it is not the gift our city needs. Then he turned to Athena. Athena, he said, and he bowed his head. Your gift is wonderful. It is a gift of life and wisdom. The people of my city have chosen. We choose your gift. All the people started to cheer. They cheered loudly for Athena, Athena, Athena. Poseidon, was furious. He gave a great shout of anger, turned into a ball of water, and disappeared. Athena smiled at the people. "You have chosen wisely," she said. "I will be your patron. I will protect your city. It will become famous in all the world for its art, its learning, and its democracy." And so, Athena became the special goddess of the city. And to honor her, King Cecrops and the people changed its name. It was no longer called Cecropia. It was now called Athens, after the goddess Athena. The story says that the competition happened on the hill of the Acropolis. Today, if you visit the Acropolis in the great city of Athens, you can still see an olive tree growing there. Some people say it is the very same tree that Athena planted so long ago, a living sign of her wise and wonderful gift.